Today we got some anime. So we're doing this guy, and I think we're gonna do the little coal guys. It's gonna sit like this.
So he's standing in front of him.
No, behind, but in front of a little bit of the background. Because I'm gonna do some of the background there, so that it shows a little bit of orange, like going up through there. But I'm hoping this doesn't distort too much. I don't think I feel it.
You get
Could have like dressed up for the occasion or something.
You can't tell that I'm wearing a ratchet outfit right now. It's so awkward to have a camera on you. I feel like I'm blinking a lot. You're gonna like drop your phone out the window on pavement on accident. There's something in my eye. There's something in my eye.
Tattoo I did today seemed kind of random and kind of the edges were kind of just kind of there. But that leg sleeve is going to be kind of a patchwork of a lot of different movies and stuff. So, and that's what you're going to see a lot in the tattoo vlogs is there are things that are unfinished and out of context. So, you know, this is what you're going to get with the vlog. But now we're going to shift gears tonight because I have a commission here and it's for 2 paintings. They're actually engagement photos. So here are the 2 photos, and he wants to do 2 18 by 24 individually framed paintings. And the photos are really cool, and I'm trying to decide how to place them because I don't really like placing things directly in the center if I don't have to. And what I decided to do is, in these photos, they're very contemporary, and you know, the background, although it's blank, there's a statement happening there about the simplicity of the background. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lean into that, and I'm going to feature the background as an element more prominently in the painting. So what we're going to do is we're going to offset these guys like this. And what that's going to do is not only create asymmetry in the painting and feature more of the background, but also when they're framed sitting next to each other, it's going to create a larger white space here. And that's really going to build the environment that this is in, which is what the photographer was going for. And I'm just doing it in a different way for the painting. Now, the way I'm going to transfer this image to the canvas is by doing this. So you can see I gridded everything out. This is going to give me a good idea of proportion as I draw it onto the canvas probably with pencil. It's a canvas board. And it also gives me the opportunity to correctly proportion each individual sets of people at the same kind of scale, so it looks proper. So I have 1 inch by 1 inch tiny little squares, and then 5 by 5, except for the edges here. And so that's what I did here. So I laid out this grid. Now I'm going to use this as a map and start from the bottom and work my way up, or whatever I'm going to do. And the way I'm going to do this, because I am going to stylize this a little bit with you know, they already have the images, you know, so if I did something super realistic, I don't know, they already have pictures. So we want to do something artsy and flavorful. I want to lean into also the angular nature and the simple shapes of his shoulders and his glasses. So I'm going to apply that angular method of drawing the image onto here. So as I interpret, you know, the feet, the legs, the clothing, the hands, the facial features, I'm going to interpret it as an angular, in an angular way. I'm not sure exactly how this is going to translate to the painting necessarily specifically, but I know that I want to see the straight angles. I want to see hard lines in this. I'm going to lean less on rendering things and more on creating interesting shapes and having those hard edges pop out, because in the image here, a lot of this image is about contrast. You know, you have white on black, you have circle with hard edges, and that's what we want to lean into that. So it's almost like these images, the clothing, they're telling me what it wants. You know, I'm playing off of what it already is and emphasizing it and letting it affect the form more than just how the clothes and stuff happen to be. I know that in portions of it, I want to use a palette knife and I want to build up paint. But it's going to be a lot of white on white in the background. I know that I'm going to need to warm or cool the whites. So I haven't really decided on what to do there. But that's what I'm going to try to do. So I don't know if maybe tonight I'm going to start penciling in both of the images, and we'll see how it goes from there. Getting into some of the more artsy kind of deeper stuff about the composition and what makes art in general compelling is, for instance, the empty space there. What your brain does is it takes the information from the dynamics between the individuals in the image, and instead of telling you something in the background about the environment, that white space creates a vacuum in the concept of what you're looking at. So what fills that vacuum is the information that is there, which is the way, you know, you draw some conclusions about what's happening here, and let's say the relationship and why it is that they're taking that photo. Your brain it's almost like a taste in your mouth. It's not really, for some people, I think they have actual well put together thoughts about this stuff, but it's more like a flavor that you just get a sense of. And what that white background represents is their relationship and the dynamic and the little things that you can pick up from the attitudes of their posture, the attitudes of each other. Photographer did a good job in this, because you can see there's a little bit of eccentric stuff going on with him in the way his facial expression is, obviously his shoulder pads, and the way he's directly looking at the camera. He's standing there in a sense like a clown in a way. I know that sounds bad, but what he's doing is he's presenting himself in a eccentric way on purpose. He knows it, you know it, there's an interaction there. She's looking at him and observing that. So there's that dynamic. And then this is, their attitude as a couple looking back, right? So maybe clown was a better. He's on purpose doing something slightly unnatural. And what that is that's communicating with, he's breaking the fourth wall in this image by looking straight at the camera in that way. So all of these things are more clear if they're not influenced by a background. Your brain fills in that void of information, which is why, I really like, obviously, like these, I really like blank backgrounds, because in a sense it's like breaking the fourth wall, which it's on purpose communicating a very specific thing. So just to show an example of what I'm going to do here is I've ran through kind of getting the proportions, and now that I have a general understanding of the proportions, I could go in and now I would start drawing things, right? So using motion to exaggerate things and really finding angular and contrasting shapes. And this step, after I do the first step, is going to be what influences the painting moving forward. So I get an idea of motion and form and structure in the whole thing. Probably where I'll stop tonight. I'll continue more tomorrow if time is available. But for now, I'm pretty tired, and I think I'm gonna go play some guitar for a little bit. Tomorrow we have a sleeve that we're doing. There's like mechanical stuff and stuff from his college band group that he was in. Really strange mixture of things in a sleeve, but a great client, and he's got some pretty cool stuff, so we'll see you tomorrow.